Hello, welcome to a new video and the final video of 2024. There actually might be a vlog after this. I think there's a vlog after this, I can't remember. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, final sit down video of 2024 and it's my January TBR. Yay! I don't think there's any readathons in January. I haven't really looked into it. So it will be another readathon free month, which I quite like that for the first month of the year, like ease myself into it. But obviously I am playing my game and then I'm going to try and give myself a pretty small TBR after that. So let's see what planets I'm going to try and travel to. Okay, so last month we ended on Mandalore. So this month the dice I'm using all greens. So very, very dark green. An ish green, and then my D10 is my brand new dice. I will be playing a druid and these come up as druid dice, so oh yeah. So let's see what 5 planets we've got to try and get to. 1 is Exegol. 2, that's 3, so it's Mandalore. 2 is Coruscant. 4 is Lothal. And the final planet, 1 is back to Exegol. So let's move that dice. And roll number 1 is a 6 and a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Roll number 2 is a 3 and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for Exegol, we have Ray, an underrated book. So first planet I got to was Exegol and I pulled the Ray prompt, which is an underrated book. So for this, I'm reading Deadline by Mira Grant. This is the sequel to Feed, which I read in May last year and absolutely adored it. I become obsessed and I was like, I need to read book 2, but then I couldn't find the audiobook. Friends, I have now found the audiobook, which means I have borrowed Ash's physical copy so I can read along. I am so excited for this one. However, I think I'm more excited to get through this one to read book 3 because from what I think I've heard, it's like middle book syndrome, but I'm really excited to continue the series because I absolutely loved the first book and it is definitely an underrated series because I feel like a lot of people just think it's a zombie book, and whilst there is zombies, it is not. It is a political thrillery type book with zombies in it. The politics is the main point and it is so well done. So I'll be reading this. And then we have to get back to Mandalore. So we have 1, roll number 3, a 6 and a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Roll number 4, a 1 and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roll number 5, a 6 and a 2. 1, 2, 3. So for Mandalore, we have Darth Maul, a book with a siege or battle. Okay, took a few guys, but I got to Mandalore, or back to Mandalore, and I pulled the Darth Maul prompt, which is a book with a siege or battle. So for this, I'm going to be reading Assassin's Fate by Robin Hobb. Me and Kelly are going to be finishing our Realm of the Elderlings read along. Like, this has taken us years to read all these books, but we're finishing. It would have been beautiful if we'd managed to finish in December, but it didn't work out that way, and that's absolutely fine. So we're going to be reading this. I don't know for certain there is a siege or a battle, but I imagine it's the final book in an overarching world. It feels like there's going to be, so I'm just assuming. And if there isn't, it still counts. It's my TBR game. And then we need to get down to Coruscant, and I still have, how many was it? 5 to go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roll number 6. Oh, doesn't go in the tray. It doesn't count. Roll number 6. A 6 and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is Chewbacca, a book with a non-human main character. Okay, so we got to Coruscant and I pulled the Chewbacca prompt, which is a book with a non-human main character. I was very excited for this because it means I get to read My Vampire Plus One by Jenna Levine. My Roommate is a Vampire was one of my favourite books of 2024. Spoiler alert, that video hasn't come out yet. But I absolutely loved the first book and I'm so excited for the sequel. So it came out in like September and I haven't read it yet. So I'm excited to actually get to it. And then we need to get Lothal. I've still got 2 from the last roll. So 1, 2. Roll number 7. A 5 and a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Roll number 8. Ah, double 2. I thought that was a 1 because I can see the 1 there. Yes. So we move to Lothal. Zeb, a book with a grumpy sunshine trope. We got a double, friends. We got a double. So we got to Lothal and I pulled the Zeb prompt, which is a book with a grumpy sunshine trope. Now, I double-checked with Meg because she has read this book. I double-checked with Meg because I wanted to make sure it did have grumpy sunshine because it isn't obvious from the blurb. And she confirmed A Dark and Drowning Tide by Alison Saft does in fact have grumpy sunshine. Me and Ash are going to be buddy reading this because we like to try and buddy read like one sapphic book a month. It hasn't been happening in the last few months because we've both been very busy and stressed and it just hasn't happened, but we're going to get back on that and we're going to read this in January. Meg's very excited because she loved this book. I am very excited because it's a highly anticipated book that I just haven't got to yet. So yeah. And then we need to get all the way back to Exegol. So roll number 9. No. What? Do I count that? Like, I didn't just roll 2 double 2s in a row. Am I allowed to? Do you know what? I'm counting that. We're getting to Exegol. I fully was prepared to pull a lightsaber. Kylo Ren, a book with an I can change him villain. And then finally, I'm leaving this footage unedited just so you can see I wasn't messing with you. Because I rolled another double 2. Not even another, just another double. Like another double of the same number. And I was like, I genuinely was doubting, like, do I count it? Does that count? But like, it's not like when you play, I don't know if you know the game Frustration, where you have to press the thing and it bounces the dice. And with that, if you get the same number twice, if it hasn't moved properly, you don't count it, you roll again. But I physically picked the dice up, rolled them and let go of them. It just gave me the same numbers. So I'm taking it. I'm taking it as a win because I was fully starting to prepare myself for having to pull a lightsaber book, which I didn't want to do in the first month of the year. But I didn't have to. And I got back to Exegol, pulled the Kylo Ren card, which is a book with an I can change him villain. And for this, I'm going to be reading Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen. So this is like a sapphic Addie LaRue. So like this devil is like killing her in all these different lives. So it's an I can change her villain because it's sapphic. I'm very excited for this. I've got the arc. Yes, it was on my December TBR, but I think this goes up. Does this go up before? No. If you watch the vlog that went up like a week before this one, you will see that I have decided to be kind to myself and not force myself to read all of the arcs I wanted to because I am struggling this month because I had a very busy week in December, like beginning week in December with, you know, going to Disney. So yeah, I've decided to shift this one over and be nice to myself because self-care. So yeah, that's what I'm picking for this prompt. And then on top of that, the only other books, I think I need to double check. So this is a possible go in on my TBR because I need to double check. I think me and my mum want to continue our Percy Jackson universe buddy reads, which means we would need to read The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan, which is the first book in the Kane Chronicles. I need to double check if we are actually doing that. I think we are. I'm sure we said we were going to get back to this in January, but but I'll double check with her first. So yeah, this is most likely going on my TBR. I also would like to get to Carving Shadows into Gold by Bridget Kemmerer and The Notorious Virtues by Elwyn Hamilton, which are the other 2 arcs that were on my December TBR. However, if I don't get to one or both of these, it's okay. I'm being kind to myself. We shall see. And then apart from that, I've got my 12 books for 2025 mug. So I'm going to give it a shuffle because I've only just put all of these in here. So I want to give them a good mix. And then let's see what the first book, who gets the first one. Oh, we're starting with Danny's pick, which is Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. I'm a little bit daunted by this because it is a classic and I don't read a huge amount of classics, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad that I'm getting it over with. I'm excited to read it. I'm very glad Danny put it in because otherwise this book would probably never end up getting read if I'm not forced to read it. But yeah, I'm reading Northanger Abbey. Thankfully, it's short. Emma was a huge book, so I'm glad this is a shorter one. But that's my first 12 books for 2025 book. It's Danny's pick. So that's my TBR. Anything else is going to be a bonus. I think I'm probably going to try and read Morning Star, like the 3rd book in the Red Rising series, because I'm reading Golden Sun this month. But I don't know yet. I haven't decided. It feels very weird that I don't have any read-along books because Mass Along and Chronicles of Ixia read-along both end in December. Hi, Editing Becca here. I messed up. I thought December was the last month I was joining in on the Chronicles of Ixia read-along because that ends with Dawn Study. And the other 3 books that I knew of were the first trilogy from Valak's point of view, which, as much as I love Valak, I have a habit of not liking the books when they're rewritten from the other character's perspective, so I am just not going to read them. However, Tori let me know there's actually the short stories, which is the Study Chronicles of Ixia and Sitia. The picture's going to be here, which is a collection of short stories, which is January's book, so I will be reading this in January. But anyway, that's my first TBR for 2025 and my last video in 2024. I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next year. Bye.